mid lane here. Anytime you go bot when it's not red-white, you do have a lot of burst damage to come through. And in the mid lane as well, Veigar's really good setup. Ryze takes time to scale. So I think mid, bot, or just flat out invade the Hecarim, because while Lee Sin isn't as strong as the Trundle in the 1v1, he's still pretty good at sneaking in there. And even if you don't find the Hecarim, you can steal stuff away from that Hecarim as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we will get to see what they're planning on doing. Game on. It has begun. Hawks going up against V3 Esports. Can V3 finally get their first dub of this entire... Like, come on, it's got to happen. Eventually, maybe we get to see it go down. Looking at the runes, you know, anything standing out to you here? Anything that we wouldn't expect? Or is it all pretty much just the usual?
I think Spellbook for Dasher is a little bit surprising. We are used to seeing, you know, Phase Rush on the rise there, the rare occasional electrocute if you're really looking to dominate lane, which would also have surprised me. Summer Spellbook feels a little bit defensive here, and I don't know how I feel about that for Dasher, because I feel like for Dasher, you're kind of the big damage threat on the team, the big carry here, and you know, if you're running that Spellbook already, it kind of says that maybe you're not so confident trying to carry this one.
Listen, man, he's got to give his teammates a chance to shine too. You know, he's got to give Marble. You got to give him the spotlight occasionally. Already a little bit of damage coming out here. Dress Code looking to make a name for himself here. He's like, this bot lane is gonna be belonging to me sooner or later. Reinhardt, he's not scared to push up though.
Yeah, they're just fighting over control for that bush there. If you do manage to get the ward down, it's actually really important, especially into the likes of Rakan or Rel, either of whom can very easily engage out of that bush here. So net neutral. I mean, neither side really managed to secure ward control of that particular bush. Now, Echo, I notice you're sighing already, you know, when you're talking about V3 trying to find their first win. And I'm a little bit worried because if you're feeling tired already to start the game, I don't know how you're gonna last through this one here.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. You know, hey, even the AI is like, okay, V3, they got a chance this time around. The little AI blitz, yeah, he's got my back.
Wow, I like that power spike actually too. You can see the early game, you know, kind of favors Hawks a little bit, as we kind of expected, you know, with that Graves, with sort of the way the lanes are going to play out. But V3 scaling is through the roof here.
Do not let it go past 25. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't, please.
The last time they played was 37 plus minutes, and the longest match of the league so far of the season belongs to Hawks versus CGA. I think it went 49 minutes or 48 minutes. So,
oh my God.
I don't know, man. Fast is not synonymous with the Hawks.
Gonna have to zero. Tell already a lot of damage coming on with that grand entrance. So Reinhardt is going to be taken considerably low. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like you said, right? It's just blank. It's probably just going to be chilling. Same with Unica, really looking for those openings in the lane. I gotta say, mid lane definitely already looking kind of juicy. You've got Dasher kind of pushed out pretty far there, so maybe we'll see Unica kind of path there into that mid lane, try and get UGO ahead. That would always be pretty big if you can get the Veigar ahead off the back. But we will definitely have to see. And that top lane's looking good too.
Yeah, Unica actually interesting pathing. Skipped over the wolves here. So with Lee Sin, Jay Fortune, Zhao, these sort of early game junglers here, you do want to get creative with your pathing a little bit to look for those early ganks. But skipping wolves and raptors is kind of a sort of odd one. If you do skip wolves, usually you're looking for a gank on that bot side very, very quickly. But your bot lane's not in a good position to do so. Dress Code and Hetel are pushed really far up, and Dasher, unfortunately, did kind of recognize that, hey, we haven't seen Unica in a while. I don't feel comfortable. I'm over pushed. I'm going to back and buy an early tier here. So Unica not able to find anything for it. And it's a very minor point, but against a Hecarim who is a power farmer, these sort of suboptimal pathings can come back to bite you, especially if Hecarim starts to invade, you know, post 6 as well, taking away your camps and being able to tell where you are.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's going to be big. And Dasher, man, he is sending it far back to grab that vision for his team. Event Horizon is going to stun him down and allow UGO to do quite a bit of damage. But already, Dasher is hitting like a truck right now. UGO is pretty damn low already.
Yeah, if you don't land the Event Horizon as the Veigar, if you don't put that Rise in a baby cage, you're going to lose that trade because he's just going to dance circles around you and he puts out so much more damage. Now, at level 6, things do change, of course, with the possibility of a burst damage coming up, but you still need to land the poke first and blank. This is what I'm talking about, you know, with that pathing is already invading here.
Man, get a bit of a bad spot here. Information inequality has once again struck, and first blood will go to Yu-Gi-Oh! The whole entirety of the team, not really, only 3 members, but they all kind of see the opportunity, right? And they move in and just snatch Blank off the board.
Yeah, really good movement there. And Hawks should have been aware, hey, Hetel's gone back to base, get ready for the roam. Got a little bit greedy, but they'll be fine. And one thing about V3 is that their early games, a lot of times they have good isolated plays. I want to see them continue to snowball this, and this does not look like snowball.
Nope. And speaking of isolated, Unico was in a bit of a bad spot there. Was able to dash over to Yu-Gi-Oh! Though, so might just be okay. Cage needs to be careful. Needs to get out of there. Now it's so close. The flash though. Dasher, he knows his limits. He knows the numbers. My man's a mathematician. He knows he gets that and gets it indeed.
Nice. And I can't really call it clean, but nice.
It was nice. It was nice. A little dirty. It was nice.
Yeah. we'll go with that here. And hey, with that, things are equaled up, right? We saw Blank overextend immediately after. Unica's like, hold my drink. Watch me do it too, right? Exact same thing. They're going for Raptors without vision. They're going in blind. And just as I was praising V3, and this is my problem with V3, right? They make individual good plays, and then they can't seem to chain them together. They can't seem to link them up, and they need a hero. Because for Hawks, the fact that, hey, Dasher's getting the kill, to me, that's really good. Dasher is that hero, will be that carry for them. Yu-Gi-Oh! Got first blood. Can he be that hero for V3? And if so, I think it needs to start in laning. You need to start taking control of this lane, whether it be calling Unico over for help or Hetel for some assistance here, whatever it takes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we see the Predator coming out right from the Vigor, so that's already going to allow him to really lock Dasher into that baby cage, right? Put the pacifier in his mouth and be like, hush, hush now. Mid lane belongs to me, right? So we're going to have to see if him and Yuka can get something done. But I actually just realized the cleanse actually coming out from Dasher, who's kind of expecting that. It's going to be huge to see how he can kind of utilize that to get out of these sticky plays, because we see he hits hard. He does a lot of damage. And if Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't careful, he will definitely pay the price.
And that's one of the ways to utilize that summoner spellbook, right? Teleport's down already. Switch over to the cleanse here. And as long as that cleanses up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Will not win that particular trade. Even if you get him in the perfect spot with the Event Horizon, he's just going to run right through and go gunning for you as well. But for now, it'll take some poke before we get to see that happen. And unfortunately, Echo, I was going to say, it looks like we might be headed back to, sort of a passive laning phase where everybody's just trying to scale up because everybody's scaling. But I do see Hetel roaming, and that gives me hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Utica as well, setting up, see if you can find something here. But he realizes something might just be going down in this mid lane here. Blank definitely needs to be careful. Not quite going to walk into it. Slowly but surely, a little bit of pressure is brewing. Maybe going to see a bit of a scuffle here. Grand entrance does connect, followed up by the baby cage. Dasher is low. He's not getting out of this one. Unica picks up that kill. Just go with the reset. Does a little bit of damage to Blank, but they get what they were looking for, and they get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and they're not going for Herald, interestingly, after this. Maybe they go for Dragon instead. I want to highlight the fact that Dasher had cleanse and didn't insta-cleanse. I think took a little bit too long. The knock-up from Hetel was uncleansable, and that came back to bite a little bit. By the time Dasher was trying to get through that Event Horizon, it was a little bit too late. And good response from Hawks. V3 go for Dragon. Hawks go for Herald. Normally, I'd say Herald is the better trade here. It gives you that early game power spike. The gold's more important. But with how these games run, a lot of times stacking Dragons is probably going to be better in the long run here.
Yeah, I gotta say, nice to see Lukinatsu, right? Actually, and he's not in that top lane. He moved down to try to back up his team. Unfortunately, waited a bit too long, wasn't able to get into the fight. And we see just that, he couldn't cleanse the grand entrance, gets knocked into the cage, gets taken out accordingly. And it's nice to see that the side of V3 they don't greed for anything, right? They get that kill. They're like, hey, we're really only looking to kind of scale up, right? We're looking to take our time with this thing. We're looking to run the clock as long as we can, get what we came for, and get out.
Yeah, and the fact that Kinatsu roamed out actually is interesting because it doesn't look like he's going for a Hullbreaker. We see Vamp Scepter, we see the Serrated Dirk. This looks like a Graves that actually wants to fight, and I'm not sure if that's going to pan out for them. They've done best when Kinatsu is able to apply that side lane pressure. Speaking of pressure, Herald dropped top, and Washide completely chased out from the turret range.
Yeah, damn, they straight up told him this that your lane is forfeit, bro. You don't get to step a foot here anymore. They did send Kinatsu in that ball lane, like you were saying, though, won't have that Hullbreaker. Maybe we see kind of like second item, something like that. Maybe he just wants to prioritize that healing, but we will have to see. Rift Herald shouldn't be able to crash into this tier 3 unless some kind of miracle. Okay, we'll be taken out, but that is that tier 1 down already.
Yeah, and more importantly, V3 found zero answer in the bot side. Unica was bot side as well, and they were thinking of the dive. And this is why generally we see Hullbreaker Graves, because trying to dive a Hullbreaker Graves is very difficult. He instantly clears the wave here, but even without that, Kinatsu was able to clear the wave, deter any further action. And this is good to see from the Hawks. Good macro play, something that we've been wanting to see more of here. But for the Hawks, the early game hasn't been the problem. The problem is what happens when they start to group up. And you know, considering that we're seeing Kinatsu build damage here, it might look like Hawks are trying to change up the playstyle a little bit, try and short up that particular weakness.
Basically, it sounded to me like Dasher needs to build his own Hullbreaker. That way he can just spam ping when someone's too close to him and be like, get away. I need to do my own plays here.
Kind of true. I mean, we're not seeing a lot of roams in the mid lane, right? And if anything, Dasher's been on the receiving end of Unica and Heto popping by. So, you know, Hullbreaker Rise here doesn't sound like the worst thing, Echo.
It's all about the pings, man. You can just spam ping, and now we do see the needlework will. Oh, it gets hit by the event horizon. The needlework, so much damage. They send everything they got, and they take out Dasher. They're looking just for the mental damage at this point. They're like, send everything we got. Make sure this guy knows he doesn't get to play League of Legends today. He plays Gray Screen Simulator.
Just saying, Hullbreaker might have helped out some. Was all alone, and really good rotation from V3. It's very swift. They move up, they move back right away. They're barely losing minions for it, and they're starting to stack Yu-Gi-Oh up as well. It's the way that particular fight is set up as well is beautiful, because not only is it feeding kills over to Yu-Gi-Oh, but if you notice the way the rocket's always being launched, Dresscode has a chance to steal and get assists as well. And more importantly, it doesn't cost them anything. Dresscode does walk all the way up, but kind of didn't have to at this point. Dresscode's probably like halfway down the river, runs right back to the bot lane. And that's why the CS is not going in Marble's advantage, despite the fact that Dresscode's getting more, giving more assistance to the rest of the team.
Yeah, no, definitely good to see. I like this V3 looking sharp today. Definitely on their stuff. Want to get that win, and they are definitely on the right path to do so. We said that this is more of the team, right, that needs to kind of, they want to scale up, they want to play the clock, run it down, and even now they're looking good even in the early game. Yeah,
good play so far. They found a strategy that works, and they're just repeating it. Now, the only concern, Echo, is that they're still down gold, despite making all these good, moves that we're praising, these individual catch-out plays. They're down 1.4k gold, and granted, a lot of that is off that first turret on the top lane that Kinatsu, or actually Marble and Rhina, managed to get with the help of Herald. But it is still a gold deficit, and we still haven't seen them really team fight against the Hawks. The Hawks have just, been just laning separately for the most part, instead of grouping up. So when the Hawks group up, to me, that's when the fun really starts here.
Yeah, and I mean, we do see that kind of goal difference also somewhat reflected in the items, right? Because you see Marble does already have his mythic, while on the other hand, Dresscode doesn't quite have it, but that cull is going to be just depleted in just a minute there with that last minion going down, and then should be able to get it there. Hetel, bit of a bad spot. Granite, just get out of there. But like we were saying, right, I gotta say, Graves, though, did grab the Eclipse, but it's still not looking like he's building that Hullbreaker. Maybe that's the secret sauce. Maybe that's why things aren't working out for the Hawks right now.
Maybe. And if you're gonna build that Eclipse, then I need to see Kinatsu start finding some damage in these trades.
Yeah,
Unica?
oh, speaking of damage, though, very nice. I mean, Horizon, all the chains coming out, baby, because they hit him with the 1-2, and down goes Rhina. That's like their main tank off the board. Blank was taken to half HP. Dragon still on the board. They're looking to send in, find even more, though. A very nice grand entrance. Dasher will go gold, but where you go when it's done? Into the CC wall that's called the Choppers and the baby cage, because good night, you're done. But a very nice ultimate coming out will take out two of the members there from V3, and overall they will go 2 for 2.
Well, Echo, I did say the fun would start when they actually 5v5, and sure enough, your chaos reigns with how it plays out. And V3, I think, started that really, really well. Unica has some killer instincts there to force that particular fight, and the way Viga likes to play is through the rotations of the spells as well, so them getting to reset or get that space between kills to reset was absolutely critical, because we see one event horizon. I believe there's 2 or 3 total throughout the duration of this fight. But the problem was that Sengoku Hawks, not Sengoku, oh my god, SoftBank HAWKS, pardon me, got thrown by the name for a second. They have really strong team fight, and you can see that once they actually got Marble to that fight with the Gale Force, combined with Kinatsu, we need to see Kinatsu's burst. Well, here it is. Together, they just absolutely wipe all the squishies. That Infernum was beautiful. And honestly, the Infernum was just icing on the cake. They already had that fight won already before that. That was just what happened to pick up all those kills.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, also gotta definitely give props to Heddle there. A very nice dash followed up by the grand entrance, which forced Dasher to pop that stopwatch early, put him in a terrible spot. We see the event horizon go down, followed by the chompers, and it's like, okay, you can. Oh, actually, he can't even cleanse this time around because he has that TP. But it would have been like, sure, you can cleanse out of the chompers. Can't cleanse your way out of that event horizon though afterwards, and he goes down accordingly. Of course, at the end of the day, some of the members V3 are a bit too low, unfortunately, and just do get absolutely decimated by Marvel's ultimate, but it's still nice to see. Ooh,
here.
Yeah, definitely have to be careful. Blank gonna opt to go ahead and fall back. Doesn't quite want to take that fight. Probably for the best there. Just gonna grab that tier 1, back off. Kinatsu once again, that split push menace. Even without the hull breaker, he's still kind of he's got his job. He's not in unemployment just yet. But Dasher might just be unemployed if he's not careful. The Everfrost, the double Everfrost though. Oh my god, he hit him with the you can do that, I can do that too.
Yeah, but I think Yugo landing that one a little bit better. Not to mention the poke is more dangerous when it's sticking from this Veigar dress code.
No, don't do it, bro. Don't throw away everything you've built up. Come on, man, don't do it.
Okay, no, he's fine. He's fine. Back up's on his way. I was watching Kinatsu roam up as well and watching the collapse, but you know, Echo, like you kind of said there, you can take the hull breaker off Kinatsu, but you can't take Kinatsu off the lane. He's just gonna keep on splitting. And hey, it's working. You're getting that lead over the Gwen right now, and Washidai has not really been able to answer the push so far. Surprisingly here, it's gotten enough pressure as well for the Hawks to look for this Herald uncontested. V3, they weren't in position. You know, they're trying to hover mid, hover bot at the same time, and that just left top side completely exposed.
Yeah, and also that turret going down is just solidifying that gold lead more and more, and they might just get even more here if Kinatsu can get this kill. Dude, he's just hiding behind the Krugs, bro. Those are children. You can't take those as meat shields, Unica. Come on. That's gotta be a war crime.
If we're calling Krugs children here, then is it better for Unica to hide behind them rather than killing them? Like, I don't know which is worse here.
Okay, that's fair. The lines are blurred, man. Okay. We're just gonna go with it, but he will get out of that one close. But like I was saying, right, just that those turrets going down from the split push and coming up from Kinatsu, it's just solidifying that goalie. We see it right now too. It's like they're almost at a 2K goalie, a little bit off there, but they're getting close to it, despite being 2 kills down and despite the same amount of dragons being traded.
It is literally the entirety of the gold lead for the Hawks right now. Those turrets here, and for Kinatsu, it's actually going to get harder to keep split pushing at this point because you're going to kind of expose yourself as you get into a lengthened lane. And again, no hull breaker. I'm going to harp on it continuously because if you're going to play this style, you probably should build the hull breaker. Dasher though, Dasher is another option to look for that split push. He has now completed the Everfrost, and we saw that against Ahugo in the long lane as well. It's actually not terrible. You can answer back, and I think even now against Washidai as well, you can still hold that lane 1v1. And whereas for V3, Ahugo can't really push out on that side lane. So Hawks can look for the 1-3-1 if they want to.
Yeah, definitely. They are going to be looking to take out yet another turret, though, with the Rift Herald being dropped. Going to crash right into this tier 1. Almost actually going down before crashing. That was a close one, to say the least. That'll bring it incredibly low. I don't think that Kinatsu will get a chance to take out that turret anytime soon, though. That one's going to be a little too hotly contested. But you see him once again, right? He's in that bot lane. He's applying pressure. But I don't know if this is the time because it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a scuffle. And right now, his team will be 1 man down if we do see this kind of 5-on-4 take place. And accordingly, Sengon Hawks are going to go ahead and just, you know, gonna back off. And I said it too now. You've cursed me now. Okay. Well, no, I'm done talking for today.
Yeah, that's gonna be the new super team, right? After SoftBank HAWKS don't work out, they're gonna merge.
They're gonna merge, dude. Let's go.
Well, for now though, I mean, the pressure that Kinatsu is putting down is because the dragon is coming up, and I think that's the priority for both of these teams here. So the Hawks had priority bot side. V3 was looking for control in the mid lane. Now, Wave gets pushed up. They're going to swap. We see Kinatsu now hovering more towards that mid side, actually sneaking away the dragon. I like this. V3 did not think of this. And Washidai was just continuing pushing bot, and they see blank. They're like, oh, the jungler's here. Surely they're not doing dragon.
Yeah, well, you'd be fairly mistaken. I'm going to go ahead and grab himself that second drag dash over the wall, and he's in safety. And just like that, the Hawks will find themselves yet another objective, yet more gold to funnel into their pockets. They're sitting pretty on it. They're dripped out right now. They're looking good. Actually, the collector coming out second item here for Kinatsu. What is going on here?
Kinatsu is building the damage build for Graves, and this build, this is when you want to kill people. So despite the fact that we've only seen Kinatsu split push right now, it feels like the answer is to try and find. Oh, there we go. Great teleport.
It's not enough. He's gonna get interrupted, and now he's in the worst spot he's ever been in his life. It's gonna go gold, but where will you go when it's over? Into the ground, because you are gone. So close, but our one and only Blank is like, no, you will not be leaving today. Not alive, at least.
Yeah, just a little short on that teleport there for Ugo. It's rough to see, but really good play from the Hawks here. This is, I think, the first sign of proactivity we've seen from them here. Now, just talking about Kanatsu's build, wanting to find these squishies here, trying to pop the Vigar, trying to pop the Jinx here. And it's going to be critical because we just saw Ugo going down, but keep in mind, he's going to keep on scaling this Vigar, infinite scaling. He will soon one-shot enemies. So a lot of times it's just going to come down to how quickly can you, who pulls the trigger first? How quickly can you burst down the carries? And that's going to make things really spicy. It's only going to get worse as the game continues to go along. This time, though, Hawks pull the trigger first. There's nothing else to pick up because they can't do Baron just yet. But still, Realm Warp should be back up by the time Dragon is once again on the table.
Yeah, so it's so crazy how quickly time has passed as well. I feel like in comparison to the game we just watched before this, everything's moving a lot slower, really, with both teams really being careful, right? That they don't want to make that kind of fatal mistake that puts them on the back foot. And I mean, that's always good to see. But once again, right, it's just like we were saying, the Hawks, it's never a short game with them.
No, and it's not an illusion. We are almost at the same time right now where DFM took out Burning Core. We are approaching.
Oh, we really are. Actually,
yeah.
Like 20, oh my God, that is crazy. And this time around, not even a single tier 2 has fallen yet from the side of V3, and not a single tier 1 has fallen from the Hawks.
Yeah, the Hawks defense has been rather solid. They have been the aggressors in a lot of these siege situations so far, but V3 has found ways of finding the isolated picks. They haven't found one in the last, I want to say, 10, probably 5 to 10 minutes. They haven't quite matched turn anything yet. So V3, this is where I worry for them. And Heddle getting caught.
Indeed, looking to find something here, though. Perhaps Heddle gonna have to go ahead and use that grand entrance to get out of there. Blank, though, he's looking to send it, looking to find
Where's
something.
the team?
Doing a lot of damage here. Heddle got a dip. Yu-Gi-Oh! Incredible. Though. They will still get a 1-for-1, and then another one here. Dasher picking up the kill on Yu-Gi-Oh! Not quite gonna skip that one. We'll grab this tier 1, gonna run that down, looking to do as much damage as they can here as well to this turret. Dress code, unfortunately, just a bit too low to try and contest anything. Could be taken out by the snap of someone's finger, and they just absolutely burst down that tier 2. It did not stand a chance, and it no longer stands.
Well, Echo, the good thing about hitting, the 22, 23 minute mark is that at least when the fights happen, things really happen after that. Here we see 2 turrets go down in rapid succession. And as we watch this fight here, I was worried for the Hawks because Blank goes in alone. And where is the rest of the team here? Only Kanatsu anywhere nearby. The Realm Warp didn't actually bring in that many members. A lot of them walked their way in, but thankfully Marble with that Gale Force had enough mobility to actually go in there and finish it. If they did not find that Inferno Moonlight Vigil once again, finding picks at the end of that, I don't think Blank gets out alive, and V3 might still lose the turret on the back end of that, but they only lose 1.
Yeah, no, it's like you can literally see at the replay. It's like Blank goes in. There's just, you don't see any blue health bars anywhere, bro. It's just, it looks like he's just going in for that kind of 1v5 send, and then all of a sudden, just Marble pulls up like, hey, I got this, sends out the Moonlight Vigil, and just picks up a nice little kill there. Overall, now the kills are even. The gold lead is larger than ever, dare I say, and all of a sudden, Hawks they're looking good again. They've definitely come back.
Okay, but how long before the Hawks pull the trigger again? Right? Because I feel like at this point, with most of the teams in the LJL, 25 minutes, 5K gold lead, they'd be actively looking for a team fight, for a pick. Whereas with the Hawks, I've been struggling to figure out their mindset. Like that mid-fight, why did they pull the trigger? It felt like there was nothing there to fight for. but they found it, and it was a good fight. So if you can do that once, do it again. Realm Warp coming in,
listen,
Blank also hunting.
Dude, Blank, he's just so inferior in their mind at this point. Bro, you got to expect the unexpected. That's all what it's about. These obvious fights, no. We don't take those, man. That's too easy. You got to make these big brain plays that they don't expect and then catch them on the back foot. That's what it's all about. That's what the Hawks are doing. You got to chill 80% of the time, and when you send it, that's when you send it.
So what I'm hearing is Hawks partnership with Counter Logic Gaming. When?
Sooner than later at this point. But Kinatsu right now, gotta be a little bit careful. Heddle was trying to pull up, but Marble and Blank are in the jungle waiting for anything to go down. Just once again looking to get these turrets without really looking for any kind of engagements here. Just gonna spook them off. And overall, just chilling, really.
Yeah, and once again, Kinatsu on that split push, right? If you had Hullbreaker, maybe you take that. You don't, it's slow, but it's still kind of working. And we are focusing a lot on what the Hawks can do because they're the ones who have been pulling the trigger for the last 10-15 minutes. V3, what happened to that proactivity? I still remember the really good ganks from Unica and Hetel setting up, for that Super Mega Death Rocket coming through from Dress Code. And even if the rocket doesn't kill you, Eugeo will. Where is that now, right? You can still look for picks onto the side of SoftBank Hawks. They are not grouping up for the most part. You see Marble there? Well, that's somebody you could look to dive on, but they've kind of just sat back, and I understand that you want a Yu-Gi-Oh! To farm up, but at some point, like, hey, he's got enough stacks. Use that Predator, start forcing fights. You take a Predator Vigar so that Vigar can look to initiate.
Yeah, it feels like they got kind of complacent, right? It's like they get those first couple of like really good plays, really good picks that we praised them for as well, because it was really nice to see, right? Especially kind of the rotations that were coming out from the bot lane. We saw, right, we get this really nice fight in the mid lane and they're instantly back on the lane to defend. But I feel like once they kind of got that, they were like, okay, guys, game secured. Now we've secured the early game. We can sit back and relax. No, you cannot. Not against the Hawks. You gotta just keep sending it. Honestly, it's like you're saying, you're taking Predator Vigar. You gotta go, bro. Like you gotta run at him. That's what your whole thing is for.
Yeah, and instead it's looking like Blank once again, who's going to try and run somebody down.
Indeed.
They're getting collapsed.
A bit of a collapse here. Unica in a bit of a bad spot. He's getting CC to all hell, and he's just deleted off the face of the earth. Goodbye, good night. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was trying to make something happen. Did hit him, and then Horizon will get one. Maybe they can channel this into something bigger here.
Heddle!
No, he's going to go down, though. Kinatsu incredibly, though. Definitely needs to be careful. Collateral damage just come out, doing a lot of damage. Marble, though, he's dangerous, and he's looking, he's hunting. He wants blood. Won't quite find it, though. It did get put into the cage. Was not able to gale force his way out of that one.
It's literally just a question of who's engaging first. If the Hawks didn't engage first, V3 could have won that. You saw what Yu-Gi-Oh! Absolutely just did to Reina, could do to really anybody else on the side of Hawks. But because Blank was willing to face check a bush as a Hecarim there, they find the kill. They're looking for Baron. Unica's not there, so there is no Smite Steal availability.
Yeah, no, indeed. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to have to try and do something. He will! What? He steals it! No universe where this should happen. And he walks off. He waddles off, hits him with the 1-2. And he's out of there, bro. He is an evil genius, bro. He actually steals it. Oh my, if this was solo queue, I'd be spam pinging this much. Yeah, let's get that. We're not even going to get a replay of that, dude. But this is also interesting to look at.
Yeah, I want to see a replay of the steal. This fight, we already knew what happened. It was just Blank willing to pull the trigger earlier. That's really all it was. The Realm Warp, actually, I didn't even notice, actually failed because of the stun there, so they didn't quite get out. But it's honestly better that they didn't get out because they did manage to turn the fight. They got to poke everybody down, and this is what set up the steal.
Okay.
Now we come for the steal here, and it's disgusting that Yu-Gi-Oh! Did that. Like, how many stacks does he have to be able to out-smite at this point?
That's crazy. Drops the event Horizon. Doesn't even stun Blank, so he should be able to smite it.
Right there.
Oh my god. That is... he didn't even zooming in on him. Like, he just walks away from it like, yep, I just did that. You know how it be, bro.
I mean, Smite does what, 900 now? So 934 was just out of range for Blank, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually outbursted the Smite. That is a huge problem, Echo, because now it means that the Hawks... You don't have a guaranteed objective take anymore. Vigar can actually out damage. You combine that with a Lee Sin, it's going to be rough. And V3, they might be able to find the first win, maybe?
Yeah, oh, maybe not quite, though. It doesn't matter if you have the Baron if you're all dead, because think of the children. Come on, Marble. Oh, my God. Hits him with the 3-man. Then they pick up the 4th here for Kinatsu, and Yu-Gi-Oh will be the only man to live to tell the tale. And look at that. They are just rushing it. They're sending it. Kinatsu's like, this is my time to shine. It's time to push these side lanes. Gonna go ahead and grab the tier 2 here. Gonna look to move things up. I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh can really hold this. Honestly, it's the whole 5-man set gonna drop the event horizon. Definitely gonna buy him some time, but it doesn't matter. They're just gonna run past the turret. You have nothing to protect you. You go gold, and you're about to go into the ground, and that's the ace. And just like that, it was all for naught. What's happening, man?
What's happening is that Black took that personally. The fact that he
really
outsmarted.
did, dude. He was not happy with that. It's like, we just saw a Baron steal, and now we're seeing Hawks are stealing the base. They're all the way in. They've got the Nexus turrets. Dress Code, Washidai are both up. Definitely going to try and turn this thing around, getting a lot of damage down. Going to go ahead and take that Sonic Wave onto Rhina. A lot of damage. Dasher will go down. They're going to turn this thing around. They're not going silently into the night here. No, sir. Marbles is getting pretty damn low. Needs to be careful. Dress Code doing so much. Dude, what is happening? What is this game? Oh my God, everyone is falling. Marbles will go down, and that's the dude. No, I'm done. I can't cast this, bro. This is, I feel like I'm bipolar at this point. Oh my God.
Echo, if it's any consolation, you're not bipolar. The whole game is right now. V3 steals Baron, and then this is where everything just goes oh so wrong for them here. They're going on the push, but watch for Blank here. It's so terrifying. Rhina sets up perfectly for it, but it's Blank diving past that into the backline that really messes them up, because suddenly Dress Code, who was safe, the one survivor from the Rhina engage, gets caught, gets punished, and then from this is just where the fiesta really starts here. Like, they could have just focused on the Nexus, but no, they wanted kills. They went for Unica, they went for Washidai. No, like, either go for Nexus or go home, and because they didn't, V3 are still in it. They're in a really bad spot, but scaling is in their favor. There is a chance.
There's a chance.
You know what? Like, if they can ace Hawks, maybe they can end the game. They've got the Jinx, and Yu-Gi-Oh does a lot of damage as well. Damage to structures does scale up with AP, granted at a much lower rate, but it does scale, and Vigar scales infinitely.
Indeed, and they also went ahead and grabbed themselves that dragon, buying themselves another 5 minutes before the soul comes back up here for the side of Hawks. Gonna have to, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like anything can honestly happen. Like, you can't even like predict anything, because we went from Baron being stolen to V3 being aced to V3 well, not be, oh yeah, actually, yeah, almost being aced to acing Hawks. And so it's like like I don't know what to expect at this point. Like, we're not lying when they said that this game was definitely going to be something else.
Yeah, this was what I was hoping Hawks versus V3 would have been the first time they played. This is already much more exciting, and I'm very, 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 very happy for that. And I'm also very happy for the fact that for the side of Hawks, Marble has been really performing this game. 8-1-3 on this Aphelios, and even at that last fight there, Marble was the last one to go down, was pumping out damage the entire way here. This is the V3 Marble that we saw in Academy last split that Hawks wanted to pick up. And hey, granted, the performance this game, it is against V3, but if Marble can maintain this level of play, I think this is actually a pretty high level, regardless of who you're facing.
Yeah, no, he's definitely looking good. We keep seeing him, right? He's always kind of, I feel like Marble has kind of become the janitor of his team. They send them in with the Mooncrist and like clean up the aisle after, like they had Rhina or like Blank just run in, get them all alone. They're like, all right, you click R real quick, would you? And you just see like the double kill coming up for Dasher. But overall, yeah, no, he's playing incredibly well, and overall we're just seeing great plays coming out from both teams. Even V3, like, seeing this, I wouldn't expect them necessarily to be 0-9, right? They definitely still play, like, especially in that early game, they were showing us these really good rotations, right? Really good kind of map control, map knowledge when it comes to where you need to be and when.
If we cut V3's play in half, I would agree. First half, they don't look like it. Last half, though, they've not been looking so proactive, so good. I mean, look at this play, right? The fact that they just give up Baron completely uncontested. And I understand if it's a conscious call saying that, hey, our inhib bot side is down, we don't want to fight this. But I think a bigger part of the problem is that they just don't have vision at all. We didn't even really see pings come down until the rocket, the vision rocket coming through from dress code there came out. And until that moment, it felt like they didn't even know that Baron was being done. And because you've given that Baron over, because your bot side inhibitor is down and you're only sitting on your base turrets right now, V3 now have to fight for their lives against this push. Hawks just need to get one pick and they can end the game pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like everything is really on a knife's edge right now, and I think V3 know that, and that's probably also why I feel like they probably didn't even want to risk going like sending out trying to get vision, because you know that a wild blank or a wild, oh my god,
what was that?
Like a wild blank or dasher could be in any bush just waiting for you to misstep, and you just get absolutely just deleted. And also so were that tier 2 that tier 3, dare I say, and the inhibitors, well, both being taken down. One inhibitor comes up, one inhibitor goes down, right? And then they're facing an even bigger problem as all the Winions are here. They're knocking on the door. They're gonna go ahead and grab themselves a second inhibitor. It's getting close. It's really all gonna come down to this fight right now. V3 knows it. They can't even send Heddle back to try and get some health back because they know it's gonna happen any second now. It's getting close. The anticipation is building. Dasher does go gold, and that's the Jinx rocket out that he's gonna dodge. Yu-Gi-Oh will go gold. Blank looking to send it in. There's so much damage coming out. That's 2 members down. They're just gonna focus the Nexus, and Hawks will take the game. This